The subject waited for a period of 84 seconds.
84
Nothing
seconds.
happened. Then, the subject felt a presence materialize behind him.
Okay,
and
that's it.
SCP-2521 appeared.
What's
The
up with the
creature then
tentacles?
grabbed the subject without any warning.
Oh,
and
that's not
disappeared
good.
With the subject in hand.
Is it a
The
displacer
subject
beast?
was never found
It's a
again.
D&D
and was
monster.
presumed dead.
Okay.
Meanwhile, SCP-2521
Another dimension,
continues to
maybe?
roam freely. Welcome back to SCP
All right.
Exposed.
Tell us about this,
Today,
bruh.
we're bringing you an SCP case that has been
Confidential?
made strictly confidential to the public eye by O5 personnel,
Okay.
but is currently undergoing experimentation to test SCP-2521's capabilities.
So what's up with the heart? Or is that the
2521
mouth?
is a Keter-class object
Yeah.
of great strength and power.
I knew it was
It
powerful.
is currently impossible to contain the entity due to
It
its
can
ability
phase.
to phase through walls. SCP-2521 is a large creature, standing almost twice the height of a normal human.
Okay.
Its entire body is covered in layers of sticky black tendrils that
reminds-
seem
yeah,
similar in
tendrils.
appearance to ribbons, although it is unknown if it is made
It's
of these
kind of,
or is simply covered in them.
Oh,
The
there's
creature
something
appears
that it
sentient
reminds
and
me
understands words, but is confused when presented with images or other nonverbal forms of communication,
Okay.
such as graphs and symbols. A particularly interesting
Eldritch
ability of
is the term that comes to
SCP-2521
mind.
is its ability to remove or steal every piece of information about its nature, as
What?
long as the information is
like
expressed
the
in textual
anti-meme
or
kinda.
verbal form.
Except it
For
steals
example, any pieces of
It's a
writing
thief,
or
a
audio
big old
recordings that have been
thief.
made on 2521 have disappeared within a few seconds of completion.
it. Okay.
Because of that, nearly everything about him is registered by ideograms and pictures.
Weird, dude.
You, the viewers, may be wondering how this video is possible then. If
Yeah.
SCP-2521 is capable of removing evidence of its existence.
It would have
Well,
deleted
this
this
is
video.
part of the Foundation's experiment, aka Alpha 2521-86,
All
in
right.
which layers of security and protection have been placed over this video tracing to prevent the creature from stealing or removing this video from online.
So it would have
However,
to hack
the
it.
strength and durability of this
Is it a
layer of
hacker?
protection is fragile. And so we recommend you watch this video as soon as you can and spread the word to your friends if you wish to know more about SCP-2521.
I love it. Very, very nice.
SCP-2521 was
Very
first
cool.
encountered by the Foundation in 1993
Okay.
upon Site-14. A staff member of the Foundation was reported to be in the bathroom stall of the second floor, Section C area
Okay.
of Site-14.
Dropping a little
The staff
deuce.
member was in the bathroom when other staff members outside in the hallway started hearing screams from inside the bathroom. The
Okay.
last thing they heard was the members screaming, "What is that thing?" And then there was nothing but silence.
Can you
When they
imagine?
burst into the
If it
bathroom
wouldn't be the
stall, 3
Foundation, they
seconds
would've just
later,
thought it was a
there
big
was
turd
no
or
one
something.
there. There was no sign of the staff member, nor of the creature or thing that had taken him.
What is that
Occurrence
thing?
much like this happened 3 more times in the same year.
Taco Bell.
This brought the Foundation's attention to these disappearances, and the experimentation was conducted to identify who this kidnapper was.
It looks like a
Security
big snake.
cameras were placed in the 3 separate locations where these staff members had disappeared.
Okay.
However, the next appearance of what is presumed to be SCP-2521 did not occur in any of these locations.
All right.
In fact, no more sightings were reported until 10 years later, in
What?
August of 2003. Agent Kelly
10
and her
years.
child were present at Site 90.
So it's like
Agent
feeding?
Kelly had been asked to bring her child to work for experimentation regarding a separate SCP case. Due to the
That's-
requirements of this experimentation, the child was placed in a separate
Not a
room
good
by
place to
himself.
bring your kid to work, bro.
Scientists were stationed outside. The child had a table and chair,
Yeah,
and a
he's
notebook
drawing a
and
little
pencil to entertain himself with while scientists
You want
observed
a
from outside.
Stegosaurus?
Agent Kelly was also present at the scene.
Kelly's kinda
Suddenly,
thick,
the
bro.
lights went off.
Okay.
The whole of Site
not
90
good.
was submerged in darkness.
Not good.
At this time, Agent Kelly, fearing for her child, rushed to his room to
Of
find
course.
him, but the door was locked. It seemed it had been locked from the inside.
The
Agent Kelly
SCPs
demanded the scientists
getting it.
help her open the door, but they claimed they had not touched the lock button. Something else had locked the door. Agent
God
Kelly
dang.
screamed for her son,
This thing
but her
is
son
strong.
did not reply.
Apparently, it has
The door
control
wasn't
over the
unlocked for
electronics and
another
stuff
10
too,
minutes.
which means it could
When it
hack.
miraculously swung open, Agent
Okay.
Kelly rushed into the room to find her son still doodling in the notebook.
So
Agent Kelly asked
safe?
her son if he was all right. He replied that he was fine and that he had spoken to someone.
Oh.
When Agent Kelly asked who he had spoken to, the child lifted up his notebook to reveal a childish drawing of SCP-2521.
Oh.
Security footage of
It
the
didn't
event
hurt
was
the kid?
removed, instead displaying the text "Signal lost."
What the hell?
When the child was asked why he had decided to draw a picture of his new friend, He replied, "Because I feel like I might forget if I don't." SCP-2521's exact origin is uncertain.
Yeah.
Some researchers theorize it has something to do with SCP-1346-1. SCP-1346-1 is a room behind a normal-looking door at the end of the corridor, which is designated to SCP-1346.
Okay.
1346 itself is the corridor that leads to the said room in an engineering company's basement level. At first glance, both the corridor and room appeared normal.
Normal, yeah.
However, reports of anomalous events in this corridor caused an investigation to be made by Foundation personnel in 1987.
Very spooky.
Anomalous effects included the following. As subjects kept going down the corridor, they would begin to experience intense fear as they approached the door.
The doorman's
This
there.
effect would eventually cause subjects to refuse to proceed further and
Right.
go back. And
Right.
when exiting the corridor, the fear would disappear and the subjects would be confused on why they were scared in the first place.
But they
Although
felt
in some
relief,
cases,
though.
some subjects retained the trauma. Eventually,
Weird.
after some failed
It
experiments,
is
the
kinda like
Foundation
the
sent a
doorman then.
D-class member who had SCP-3031, a rare brain condition which made him unable to feel fear.
Okay.
This experiment somewhat worked as the D-class member didn't develop fear.
Weird.
Foundation personnel asked him to enter the door via radiocom, and he
Okay.
managed to enter the room.
Can you imagine not
Now,
feeling fear?
there's a reason why this
That's dangerous.
experiment was a half
That's
failure,
the
half
security
success.
mechanism in your
For
brain,
starters,
man.
it succeeded in the sense that Foundation personnel were able to access SCP-1346.
Right. You didn't hook him
However,
up with a
the
camera, though?
D-class member never returned. He was still alive upon entry into the room of SCP-1346,
Right.
but he had been imprisoned.
Uh-oh.
Approximately 48 hours after the member had entered and remained unresponsive,
He put a
letter
note?
was slipped under the door containing the D-class member's handwriting.
Okay.
It read, "Hi, this is Harold Marvey. I'm in the room, but I'm stuck. I can't get out. Turns out the room is actually a prison.
Oh, no.
Inside, there's a cage, and in the cage, there's this creature. When I entered the room,
So
I
that's
took its
where it
place
lived.
somehow. The creature
Oh.
is free now.
The creature
I don't know
gets
if
out.
it's evil or not. I can't describe to you what it looks like now, cause otherwise they'll take me away.
Oh.
This is all I can say. Don't bother trying to rescue me. They already told me there's no hope, and they've proved
They?
it too. Tell my family I love them." The creature is
Wow.
presumed to be 2521,
Can
given
you
that
imagine?
the D-class couldn't describe it, since it would be taken away, meaning that SCP-1346 was the prison of the creature.
Right.
Of course, this is not certain, although it is highly likely,
Yeah.
considering the Foundation's first discovery of SCP-2521
This thing
occurred
is
within a week of
weird,
this breakout.
dude.
After intense research into SCP-2521, an old film recording was located in an abandoned warehouse that appeared to contain a story about the creature,
Okay.
communicated through sign language.
Please say my...
Interpreters were
Wait,
able to
what?
translate the sign language, and the video played as follows.
Oh,
The
sign
video was
language,
titled,
that's interesting.
"Please Say My Name." He was born into a cold and empty world. His location was irrelevant, for he only knew of two places, his barren home and the foreign outside world. He didn't know where he was, why he was there, or even who he was. All he knew was that he could hear and see what others said anywhere at any time. He constantly stood vigilant, looking for more information,
That's
hoping
torture.
someone could help him figure out himself. That is how he spent his days,
That's like
listening and watching the whole
stimulation
world,
overload, you
waiting
know?
for a new breakthrough in a cold case, for someone who could finally answer his existential questions.
Yeah.
He was frequently left disappointed, however. He could see a story in a book about a tall, dark monster, but this one had teeth or scales, or
All
tore
right.
out your guts in a haunted forest.
Ugh.
He was almost always left just out of frame, only gathering pieces of a lookalike's life. The last time he met a human, they ran off screaming into the horizon.
So they were
Their
scared of him.
orange jumpsuit never to be seen again. Still, he waited. Eventually, he figured someone would learn about him and allow him to know his true nature.
Yeah.
Eventually, his great mystery would be solved, and his life given a sense of completion.
Interesting.
Eventually, someone would say his name.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the tireless work of the Foundation to keep his very existence under lock and key, never to be mentioned again. It is unknown who recorded this video or when they recorded it.
So that's the,
The
way
video
he's
appears to be
contained.
dated to the
Nobody
late
knows its
19th
name.
century. However, the references to the people in orange jumpsuits and the Foundation contradict its
D-class.
timestamp.
Right.
Another interesting feature is that in the video, SCP-2521 is depicted as sympathetic. Its own origin is a mystery
Weird.
even to itself.
Yeah.
Not knowing what it is, what its real name is, or where it came from,
It's just
which saddens the creature.
endlessly.
It is not evil, but just wants to know about itself. And
Right.
that is why it steals documents and people who describe it in order to find information
That's
about
a
itself.
really, really
However,
cool
Foundation
deal,
personnel
man.
do not know
It's
whether
just
this
curious
description of
about its own self.
SCP-2521 is reliable or not.
Right.
O5 level members recommend that Foundation staff still remain wary whenever they are in the creature's presence.
Yeah.
2 experiments have been made for SCP-2521 so far,
Okay.
due to the rarity of its encounters and appearances. In the experiment 2521-A, a D-class member was placed inside a room alone. He was
Alright.
told to look at a chart and images describing SCP-2521 before
Okay.
writing it in text form. After the D-class
Interesting.
personnel finished writing, SCP-2521 appeared in the room and showed fondness towards the image of itself.
Yeah.
It then took away the text version of it.
Swipe.
Scared, the D-class personnel had to agree to let it do so. and
Right.
SCP-2521 left,
Of
leaving
course.
the D-class personnel terrified and traumatized.
Right.
The second experiment was made under the same circumstances.
It can
However, this time, the
feel
D-class
when
personnel
people
was
are
told to describe
documenting
the
stuff
images
on it,
in an oral
because
verbal
it sees
form.
everything that other
After
people see.
describing it, SCP-2521 manifested, expressing what seemed to be affection towards the D-class member before taking them into its arms or ribbon-like body.
That's
Both the member and the creature disappeared
not
through
a
the
good
wall
hug.
of the room.
Don't touch
The
me
member
right there,
is
sucker.
yet to be found. They are presumed to be
Man.
dead. So,
Wow.
what did you think of that SCP case?
I liked it a lot. It's very, very interesting. The way that they described how he just knew what everybody felt and saw and just wanted to know more about itself. Think about how our own existence, we question it sometimes. What lengths would we go to find out if we were that confused about who we were? Some people do crazy stuff like this SCP. Guys, SCP Exposed, make sure to check him out, as well as a couple other videos that I've reacted to from him. Thanks so much for watching. As always, this is Zueljin signing off. I'll see you next time.